back again. What is going on, people of YouTube? My name happens to be Curtio, and welcome to another Dilemma Centre Live. Finally, at 7 PM on a Friday, like I said it would be quite a while ago. But yeah, it's been some time coming. It has been some time coming. We have got 15 people in the stream, which, to be honest, I'm happy with. A lot of comments to go through, a lot of pre-planned comments, and also I didn't check the thing, so the chances are if I turn this off, it's all wrong like that, because I'm an idiot. But we have got a lot of stuff to go through. 20 people now. You can tell when my face cam goes on. If there is a bit of stuff in the background, it's because I'm right next to a shower, and someone's in that shower. So if my webcam goes off, probably because someone's going out the shower, and I think YouTube would shut me down. So yeah, not too good about that. We have actually got another guest. We've had 2 guests so far out of the 3. I think the opening episode was just me. Second one was with JNO. Third one was with close friends, Mr. Gingy X, or Joe Palmer, or Dean Ambrose, whatever nicknames he's had. Lamel Shinakin Nespong, the lot. We have got another guest this week, and it is one of the I'll probably get some stick for saying it, but one of the better content creators on the platform. There are some ones that are questionable. To add a bit of banter to this, but we have got Miss Nymphria. There we go. I always get nervous when introducing people because I never know what name to go with. But yes, we have another guest, and they'll be helping answering through the questions. You might even get more people on the stream. I might bring Kurt in another shirt and another similar looking. I won't. He's reserved just for my FPL. And also, check the shirt out quickly, I should have said. First of all, check the shirt out. I've got a load of new shirts delivered by classicfootballshirts.co.uk, who actually sponsor my league. And I mention this now because I forgot to mention it in the video I was meant to. So, we'll ignore that. But there's a link in the description. I got 5 shirts, I believe 5 shirts, including next day delivery for £55. So, great service, including QPR Burnley and Dynamo Zagreb, and a Porto shirt and an Italian team from the 90s, which I'd never heard of, but they're from the 3rd division. But we're 15 minutes into the stream, and we've barely mentioned any FPL. So we are going to go through the first question in the chat, which is from OC Pertin. I haven't seen you comment too much, but welcome if it's your first stream. I have both Fabregas and Zaha on my team, and Lejeune, I believe I say his name, on the bench. What do I do? And to give you a baptism of fire, I'll allow you to start. Oh, oops, oh my goodness. Right. I am ever so sorry.
What's the matter?
I didn't unmute you. So my desktop audio, so I've just been no one.
That's hilarious.
It's the second time I've not muted properly. But well, second of all, and for the second time, please welcome my guest, Miss Nymphria.
Hello.
There we go. Got there in the
you
end.
hear me? Am I out there?
Oh, these people must think I am special. But yeah, first question goes to you.
That's why we love you.
First question to you. I have both Fabregas and Zaha on my team with Lejeune on the bench. What do I do? Over to you.
Well, I did read somewhere today that Zaha is getting treatment, so I think maybe you should probably hold on to him, because it's looking like a lot of the people that have already been kind of transferred in for him have already gone up in price this week, possibly, would you say? I think.
Yeah, I think quite a few of them. You're looking at like Xhaka's, your Mkhitaryan's all going up. Yeah,
so I think that you may have missed the bandwagon for swapping somebody of a like for like there, possibly. I'm not sure. Did Zaha go down in price?
I don't think he has yet, surprisingly.
Oh, well then. So as long as the others haven't gone up. So maybe Ramsey, because I don't think he went up either. So you could maybe consider him. So Fabregas. I'm not sure about the Lejeune player. Who's he? I don't know who he is.
He's the Newcastle defender.
Oh, okay. Did he play last game week? Yeah.
No? I
assuming not. If he's saying what do I do?
I will
Let's have a look.
take a look.
We'll have a look.
Oh
We
no,
don't
sorry,
know.
he's injured. He's one of the 2 players that got injured. He got injured
So he's
and done
got
it.
3 reds basically, by the looks of things, and so then you probably should make a transfer. I think. Maybe you can consider Ramsey for Fabregas, who you know will definitely be out for a couple of weeks. Or you could maybe, who else? We got Willian. That's a straight swap. Still Chelsea. He looked good last game week. Got an assist.
I think William for now, especially now Pedro's out, Hazard's out, does look good.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Just trying to think. We've got Mui as well, who could be a good shout for good replacement maybe for Zaha.
Huddersfield player.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
okay,
then
yeah.
I've got Milivojevic, who came off at half-time last game week, so that was fun. So I wouldn't necessarily... I think there are a lot of people who are swapping to Loftus-Cheek at the moment in that position. But I'm not sure about that one. Palace looked shaky last game week, so might not be necessarily a great one to swap like for like there. I've also got Richie, but with the injuries, I'm not really sure. You know, are you still there?
No, I was letting you talk. I was letting you go in.
It's just your screen's gone blank, I've noticed. So
Yes, that was because the person in the shower was getting out the shower, and I didn't want YouTube to blacklist my channel.
Sorry about that. Just told everybody about that.
There we go. I'm back now. There we go.
Okay, cool. Shall we move on? I don't know if we helped that person. Are we just going to Ozzy? Yeah, I don't think we helped you. Sorry, Oz.
I think a few else to look at. I think Gini Wijnaldum, Liverpool's injury problems. You could have Lallana out. Coutinho injured, but trying to force a move. It's pretty sure. You've also got £7 million mids in Arnautovic and Ayew for straight swaps, go a little bit up. And you could have, I know, Joe's favourite player, Mikel Antonio, one of my favourite players actually for Wednesday. We made him. Is also good, but I think just looking slightly up. And also, one thing, if you are looking at it, is keeping an eye on Man City to see if they make any changes to their formations and everything. Because I'm looking at the people that have already gone down in Sterling and Bernardo Silva could start dropping quite dramatically. And then if they suddenly get in the first team around October, November time, could be really good picks to pick up a lot cheaper than they were at the start of the game. But we are going to do... we had a lot of comments. This is when I start losing the plot. I'll lose the comments. We are going to do one more question before we go into the pre-planned comments that you commented on the video. So you still got time if you want to get through them to get a little bit of priority. But Rifat Ahmad said, do you think I should replace Tadic with Richie for this week, mate? Or keep him because West Ham's current form? Where do you stand on Tadic and Richie? Tadic is one that creates quite a lot of debate when it comes to FPL content creators.
Yeah, he's a tough one because some weeks he can bang and put a lot of goals or get a lot of assists, but then other weeks, he's a bit sketchy at best, really, isn't he? So, but he has potential. I think that's probably what kind of keeps drawing us all in, and then Southampton's run of games as well makes him a kind of a good prospect, I think, and we all get a bit excited by what it is we can do, but it just hasn't really paid off. I've tended to stay clear of him, if I'm honest. He's just, for his money, he hasn't been worth the returns, in my opinion. As I say, I've got Richie in, so I'm hoping that he'll do better this game week. With the injuries, I'm a bit worried he might have to sit in defence. So
yeah,
not really sure on that one, if I'm honest. But I'm going to hold on to him for another game week and see how it plays out.
That's fair enough. And I believe you are the hat-trick in terms of the Tadic views, because when I had John on, he said that he didn't like looks of Tadic, I believe. When I had Joe on last week, he preferred other Southampton players to Tadic. I've got Tadic in my team, and I seem to be the only person that actually likes Tadic that I've talked to. I see people on Twitter that say Tadic could be a good choice. Every YouTube content creator has said, Tadic? No. I'm the only one. I feel like I'm missing a trick here, and I've got him in my team for no reason. I'm hoping he just goes and bangs out like a 20-point game week this game week, but yeah, I feel like I need to start looking into that.
Well, I'm feeling a bit like that with Kane at the moment. Because so many people have transferred him out, I'm feeling like I'm going to be the only one sat there with this 12.5 most expensive striker in my team.
That was the most nerve-wracking game week I think I've ever had to endure. Just sitting there knowing I don't have Kane, my points tally is shite, and thinking I don't have Ali either. I've got to get Eriksen to do everything. And granted, he did. Ben Davies also helped me out. But just sitting there and Kane through on goal, Kane misses. Kane through on goal, scores offside. Kane through on goal, hits the post. I'm like, oh, I can't do this.
It was just so excruciating. Like after the Arsenal game on Friday night for me as well, where I was like, just like, pulling my hair out. And then, yeah, to watch that on Sunday was just, when he hit the post, I was like, oh, and then I was like, goal, goal, and I seen it was offside. I was like, oh, come on, people, give me a break. So, yeah, I was pretty much stuffed until the Man United game, really.
Yeah, my captain's choice let me down for game week 1. I'll learn from my mistakes and do it exactly the same this week. But we are going to go straight into some pre-planned comments. This is where I'll do a video either a day, 2 days before, or on the day to get everyone's comments beforehand, and then we do them pretty much at the start. And I think I've messed it up because I've gone with the wrong video. Or I've gone with all videos, sorry, I should say. There we go. Is that looking good? That is looking good. Right. So the first question we've already covered, so I'm not going to go into it. Or 5-ish replacements. I'll quickly run through it just in case people have come in late. George Butler says, replacements for Zaha, 5-ish replacement ideas, please. Well, for me, first of all, quick, or hopefully inside 60 seconds, quick straight swap. Zaha to Loftus-Cheek. They're lacking attacking options, and of course Loftus-Cheek played in that attacking role last game week, and I feel like with Zaha out, he's definitely going to be playing at least some sort of attacking role this coming game week. I feel like if you're going to look at least £7 million, you've got to look at Willian as well as number 2 and Wijnaldum as number 3. They give you big team exposure and coverage in Chelsea and Liverpool. Both have got fixtures in which they could score well in, especially Liverpool, but you look at the rotation, could bite you in the backside. I think another one you've got to look at, which is you go a little bit further down, look at Southampton players, maybe Redmond, Tadic, Ward-Prowse, even Buffal, take a risk on him, could be looking good for you. And then you've got maybe a promoted player. You're looking at Huddersfield's fixtures looking good, Kachunga or Ince there. You're looking at Brighton and getting Knocker in. You're looking at maybe Atsu or Ritchie from Newcastle. But they're sort of where I'd go, because Palace I feel like are going to be in a relegation battle this season. I feel like they are just going to survive, unfortunately, but they are going to just about get out of the relegation battle, but they are going to be in one. So having players with recently promoted teams could be a good little straight swap for them. That was quick for me. I'm quite impressed with myself. Moving on to Rengo Lee, who says, should I change Willian for Son? And I'll pass that one on to you. Do one each, and I'll say this is your one.
Willian, yeah, well, it might be a good shout, that one, actually, because it always looks sunny when Son is on the pitch. He is, just last season, he definitely kind of surprised us, I think. It will just be whether he gets the game time, I think. So was it Willian you said that he wants to switch?
Yeah, Willian to Son.
I'm not sure I'd go just yet, if I'm honest. I would maybe give it another week and see how Chelsea are going to do against Tottenham, and actually see if they can hold the pressure. And actually, I think we'll see Spurs put out their best side, really, in that match as well. So we'll get a good idea whether Son is going to play every week then, or, at least the big games. So I would probably say hold off, personally. What do you think then?
Hold off for now, because I feel like Son is... I'm not sure whether I read it somewhere or whether he struggled with match fitness or he's come back late to pre-season, but I'm pretty sure he wasn't 100% for the first game week. That's why the wonderful £30 million, definitely not a waste of money, Musa Sissoko came in and came off after 60 minutes pretty much.
I think... Sorry.
that's all right. But I feel like he is slightly struggling with match fitness. I feel like once he's up to match fitness, you will see the sort of the 4-2-3-1 come out with Son on one of the wings instead of Musa Sissoko. Realistically, he's a better player than then. But for now, Willian's playing, Son isn't, so I don't see why you'd change out and risk it when you've got easy points coming in, at least for Willian. Personally.
I think if you've got 8 mil, I think consider giving it to somebody like Mkhitaryan.
Yeah.
Rather maybe than Son, who's more likely to play. But yeah, I think I'd probably just stick with Willian for now, to be honest.
All I'm going to say about Mkhitaryan is that I said it from the very beginnings of the Game Week 1 week, and the FPL account, I just mentioned it for Game Week 2. So, where's your FPL expert? That's all I'm going to say.
It's all you, man. It's all you.
I love firing shots, especially when no one else is gonna read them and care. And get away with it.
You think? You wait for the hate, man. You wait for the hate.
But Alex Wright comes in next with best midfielder for a £9 million budget already. Already have Mkhitaryan, Eriksen, and Salah. Best 9 million.
Ooh.
Let's take out the best 3 there. Eriksen, Salah and Mkhitaryan.
Let's have a look in the 9 mils. I don't think there's many, to be honest, past those.
Well, I think you've hit the nail on the head. They're the best 3. I think obviously you're looking at maybe if you've got Salah, Mane, if you've got Eriksen, Ali.
David Silva, maybe? A little bit of a shout.
Maybe. The thing that worries me about City mids, apart from De Bruyne, is that they're also susceptible to be just randomly. I know what, Pep doesn't want him to play this week, so he's going to transfer him out of his team. He's going to rotate. The Pep rotation really can be a killer. I was saying maybe Pogba, Son if he comes back. You've generally hit it quite on the head. I feel like if Pedro gets back to full fitness, then he's probably the only one you don't have.
Oh, hang on. I thought of one. I'm just putting it out there. But what about Sigurdsson now that he's at Everton?
I feel like now he's at Everton, it could be a good move, but the only thing that worries me, and that's why I've got no Everton coverage whatsoever until at least game week 6, is next 4 games: City away, Chelsea away, Spurs at home, United away. Yeah. They are horrific fixtures, and that's what makes me worry about Everton coverage.
Although I have to say, I think that's partly why I started so badly, is that maybe I kind of focused too much on the fixtures. So I think, I'm not saying, you should forget about the fixtures if they're hard or easy or whatnot. Don't worry about them. I completely think that it's worth considering them. But sometimes I think maybe just see how you feel like in your gut, whether you think that player is actually going to play well against those teams, and if he likes it, pop him in, I suppose.
Yeah, that is a fair point. I always end up, I always overthink things. I'll pick a team, I think, that could be good, and I think, what? But what about this? And I'll look at the fixtures, and all of a sudden I'm looking at, in the last 10 times he's played against this team, how many touches of the ball he's had in all those 10 games combined. I look too far in depth into it, and it sometimes bites me right in the bum because I'll miss out on players like Mooney, who I decided to get rid of for some reason. It still irritates me. Malone Gabbiadini, because I thought, he'll be good. No. Spoiler alert, he's not good. He's not good at all.
Yeah, you were really bigging him up at the last Dilemma Centre. I was thinking, really?
I was because I thought
Are
he
you
could
talking about the
start
same
well.
Gabbiadini of last season here? Like, loads of people come to me and say, do I get Gabbiadini? And I was like, well, I wouldn't. But, Kurt told you, do it, man, do it.
But at the time with Gabbiadini, I think when I selected him, he had just over, I think 3.5% of ownership, and he had really good fixtures. And I thought, if he starts banging in the goals, I'm thinking, he's got low ownership, so people will transfer him in a lot. He's at a price where people can maybe get rid of their Firminos, their Vardys, their bigger strikers to transfer down to him, and even switch players up to transfer up to him. He's at a really good price. Plus, I felt like his fixtures, even then, could easily get him assists or goals. That's why I'm sticking out with him at the moment. I'm not getting rid of him straight away because first 11 game weeks he's only got Man United, and everything else is a 2 or a 1 in the fixture difficulty rating. So I'm holding out that just the fact they are so overpowering on the teams, it should be good, but don't hold out much hope.
Yeah, don't hold
Not
out much.
at all.
Well, you might get it's a bit like me holding out hope for Kane, I suppose. But
Hopefully, next game
the
week.
August curse isn't a thing, people. It's not a thing.
Next up, we've got Mike Holm, who says, should I go for Aguero and Salah or Lacazette and Mane? I get a lot of these, duo questions. Struggling to decide, so I'll pass you this one. Aguero and Salah or Lacazette and Mane?
Ooh, okay. I would say Lacazette and Mane. I just said it. I feel a bit scared about saying that because I feel like I've kind of cursed Lacazette now, and Arsenal need him. So, but I think Mane is fine. So I've heard anyway. Apparently that whole thing during the week wasn't an injury; it was just a rest.
Yeah.
So he should be playing. So unless he gets rotated for preparation for other games, he should play. And I'm going to say that Lacazette is pretty much nailed on for Arsenal, especially after the last game week and him scoring a goal.
Yeah.
So I think probably those two because... Oh, see, but then I love Aguero.
So this is where the overthinking comes
Yeah,
and hits
this
us.
is the head and heart thing, isn't it? If Aguero gets the game time, he scores goals. Doesn't he really? So... And who was with Aguero, sorry?
It was Aguero and Salah, I believe.
Oh, see, I've got Salah. And he did do well for me last game week. Would you say he's more nailed on than Mane? I think he probably is.
I am
Not
unsure. I'm unsure about all four of them because, again, I feel like the way I've got to look at it, Aguero has easily got potential to be dropped for Jesus if they go to a one-striker formation because I feel like in terms of favourites, you're not meant to say who your favourite child is, but
No,
Pep Guardiola's the sort of
Jesus
person that would, sell Aguero to, another family saying that you're quite clearly not my favourite. So I think Aguero's always in that sort of element of doubt. Then you've also got Salah, who granted goal and assist last game week, but he was fouled for a penalty and scored a tap-in from 2 yards out. So there's also that, which I'm looking far too much into. He's made good runs, he was good in the game, but that's where my mind sits. Lacazette scored the goal, has looked sharp in all the games in the Community Shield and in the game against Leicester, but it's his first season in the Premier League. Could he go quiet? Gabbiadini went blitzing into the first few games and didn't basically score again for the rest of the season. And then Mane, I feel like is the only one I'd say I feel like he's nailed on because he had such a good season last season and they suffered so much without him. They're not going to risk dropping him this season for the fear of that happening again, and the fact that I feel like attacking wise he's definitely, although it could be replaced by Salah, definitely their most influential player, discarding Coutinho, who I feel like isn't as influencing as Mane personally, but I'd probably go with you. I'd probably go Lacazette and Mane personally, because they're both going to start, whereas Aguero could be dropped, and Salah, I don't think he'll be dropped, but Aguero could be dropped, which is the main thing that worries me personally. And I think I've sent you to sleep. Hello? I sent you to sleep.
Sorry about that.
I spent so long talking, you're like, end the call. And I'll call him back in half an hour when he's stopped.
Sorry, my bad.
Basically, long story short, I went in a massive circle and said I'd say Lacazette and Mane.
Awesome.
Just because they're both guaranteed to start. We have got... I'm going to get through all these three comments coming up. Afro Bernie comments 3 different comments. I hope they're going to go through a quick fire. Is Tadic a good placement for Zaha? In my eyes, yes. In most of the other people I talk to, no. But A, he's going to play, and B, the fixtures are good looking, and he's a sort of player that if he goes in form, he can blitz it for a couple of game weeks and then sort of shut himself out. So look into that. I'd say definitely keep an eye on that, but you think he's a good replacement. Should I transfer Milner for Walcott? If Milner isn't playing, he's wasted 6.5. Even get a cheaper, if you want Liverpool coverage, get a cheaper Liverpool defender or a cheaper defender in general, because I feel like Milner for Walker in general could be a good choice. But just make sure you get Milner out, because if he's not playing, or just wait it out. Transfer him out so you're not losing any money, but keep an eye on him. If he does start playing midfield, he's going to be a massive, massive differential. Is Tadic still a good choice for the season? Again, in my eyes, yes. But you're best to get Tadic's the sort of play best to go to. Well, here's a chance to give you a little bit of free promotion. Go to, for example, Nimfria's channel. Go to JNO's channel. Go to I thought I'd say Bretsby, but he's rebranded now. Go to Bretsby's channel, go to Zane's channel, go to Twitter, ask multiple people, get all their opinions, because he's such a divides opinions so much. Would be worth getting an extra opinion on him personally, although I think Tadic is going to do amazing this game week. And we have got one from SFZ, who says, should I go for Kane, but then I have to remove De Bruyne and Firmino, or should I keep my attack the same with Lukaku, Firmino and Mooney? I'm going to pass it over to Nimfria. All I'm going to say is that attacking three in the first game week shouldn't let you ask the question of, should I risk my whole attacking lineup for it? Personally, but I'll pass it over to Nimfria.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I don't see why you'd want to change that up right now. And I think until Kane is, back on the scoring sheet and worrying you that he's back on the scoring sheet, I would probably stick, to be honest.
Yeah, I'd say the same. Look at it this way. The average was 58. Those attacking three got you 37 in the first game week, I think. I think Lukaku got 13, the others two got 12. I think.
I shall tell you now. I had him, 13, because I had him as captain. So depending on who he captained as well, I suppose.
Yeah, and we have got one last question from Rick Powell. I've seen you in a few streams. Big up for the continued support. Says, stick with Gabbiadini or get him out.
Ooh, tough one for you there, Kurt.
Head or heart? Personally, if from a long point of view, it is one of them ones. I like to give definitive answers on everything. I don't like to give sort of 50-50 answers or see what you feel. But this is generally one. It has to be whatever options you feel like are best, go with them. I can't decide. I am sort of, half of it is with my head, who's saying he was crap at the end of last season. He started and didn't get any points against a rather weakened looking Swansea team, a lot of people were saying. But he has got a lot of good fixtures coming up, and that's where sort of my heart goes in, and the fact he's in my team. I personally am sticking with him, because I feel like you're looking at West Ham, who've got an old and ageing leaky defence. You're looking at Huddersfield, who've just come up. You're looking at Watford, who've got a leaky defence. You're looking at Palace, who've got a leaky defence. Man United, obviously, are one that you're probably not going to do much in. We're looking at Stoke, that don't look too good this season in my eyes. Newcastle just come up. West Brom at home, who could be ones to open up quite well. Brighton have just come up. Burnley at home have been shocking away from home. All of the time in the Premier League, when they came up last time and when they've come up this time. So there is massive potential for him to score. But personally, if you have got other choices and you think, like, let's say Mooney could do well, or Defoe, Benteke, Josh King, anyone like that, go with them. But personally, I'm sticking with him. But yeah, it is 100% up to you. I can't say a definitive answer, because Gabbiadini's in my team, so it's a bit unfair, personally.
Because it's wrong.
This is your conscience speaking. No, get out of my head. But you are going to go.
Don't do it. Don't do.
We are going to go back into the chat and hopefully try and get through some questions. The better £7 million. I think we've covered the Willian thing. Best £6 million player. I don't think you've specified a price. I think, personally, looking at the attack, I like, and have said from the start, I like Vokes. Vokes was the first striker of the cheaper options in my team. Yes, he scored 2 goals against a 10-man Chelsea team, but they were headers, they were crosses in and headers. they brought an extra defender on that shouldn't have been, that easy for him to score, but it was. And Burnley, you're looking at the fact they got good home fixtures. He's good in the air. Granted, their next 4 away games after this are Spurs, Liverpool, Everton and Man City. Not the easiest of runs, but West Brom, Palace, Huddersfield, West Ham and Newcastle, the next 5 home games. So Vokes is really one you've got to watch out for. Probably the best, I'd say, in the £6 million, obviously, 6.1, Stevie Mooney. But I'd leave him there. Looking at £6 million for midfielders, because you didn't really specify the position. Xhaka, 5.6. I've said at the start, and I've said all the way through pre-season, he looked really good at the end of last season. He calmed himself down. If he can calm himself down this season in a new formation, he'll really look good. And he does. He also got Aaron Moy, maybe even Fernandinho for City could be a good little differential pick, but those are probably the best I'd say for midfielders. As for defenders, I think you've got to look at fullbacks for the bigger teams. You look at Kolasinac maybe, Arsenal coverage, maybe even David Luiz and Chelsea coverage. Someone like that, but obviously goalkeepers, you've got everyone to pick from, so I won't go into goalkeepers. But yeah, I think they're some of my favourite choices. We're going to go on to Dimitri, who is, again, I've seen you in a lot of streams, thank you for the support. My question is who to transfer in after game week 3, Mane or Ali, looking at the long term? I'll pass that over to you.
I think probably Ali. I think he's going to be more nailed on than Mane will be. And he's, I don't want to seem nasty, but he's pretty selfish as a football player, so he definitely, if he's got the option to, he'll definitely get you the points.
Yeah.
Mane is brilliant when he plays, but obviously that squad is looking quite thin up front. Well, mind you, Spurs don't exactly have a lot of extra people on the bench either up there, I suppose. But yeah, no, I think Ali. I'm going to go with Ali.
I think the thing with Ali is that he is gonna, he's, as far as first name on the team sheet's looking at, personally, I'd say Vertonghen and Alderweireld, then Kane, Ali, Lloris. You got that spine. He's part of that spine. I feel like he won't be dropped anytime soon. Liverpool's attack, I feel like they've still got the, well, obviously fitness wise, Coutinho and Lala injured limits their options, but they've still got the option to go and rest Mane if it needs be. But if Dele Alli, he's going to be nailed on every single week. He's a favourite at Spurs. A question from Mike Holm says, not sure who to have, either Aguero, and we've done that. Yeah, he's just commented again. Sorry, we are quite behind on comments. I do apologise.
We love Jesus.
We have Peter Gullier, who says, what do you think of Pedro? He's still going back to full fitness, so I would leave it out for now. But when his second question is, you think he'll play? At the moment, he's still nursing himself back to full fitness, but looks of what Conte said in his press conference this week, it looks as if Pedro at the most could be in the top 18 on the bench. I doubt he will start at all. I don't think I'll risk him, but keep an eye on him. If he starts getting back to the first team, obviously I feel like he's preferred over Willian, so when Hazard goes back, he's not going to be dropped again, and Willian will play up front, but Pedro I think could be a really, really good choice. We are going to skip over the Rate My Team for now. MD Fancy has arrived. Hello, Marco Dinka. Never had so much hype for an FPL stream. Thank you. Daniel Lamirin. Daniel says, take out Gabriel Jesus and Zaha for Mooney and Salah? ? Over to you.
Where is that? Sorry, I'm not even anywhere near where you are.
7:02 p.m. We are quite behind. That was 2 minutes after we started the stream, and it's now 34 past. We are 32 minutes behind.
Yeah, so
happens every game week.
Just ask me again. Sorry, ask me again.
Take out Gabriel Jesus and Zaha for Mooney and Salah? ?
Gabriel. Ooh. I think I'll keep Jesus. Just keep it. He's brilliant. I like him, and I think Pep likes him. So I wouldn't take him out personally. I still can't find that question. You're gonna have to take that.
No, I'd stick. Well, not with Zaha. Maybe transfer Zaha out for like Ruben Loftus-Cheek, for example, because even then,
yeah.
let's say Loftus-Cheek comes in, or Zaha's only out for a game week. Loftus-Cheek comes in, bangs in 2 goals. You know for a fact he's 4.5. If he has the Capoue effect, people are going to think, 4.5 did well in 1 game week. Flood to him, could get an extra 0.1. So. And Zaha might have gone down by then, by 0.1, 0.2, so he might be gaining a lot of money in that one. We got Hart from Gingy X, who hopefully will be back sometime soon, but who knows? Who knows for the future?
Oh, I see the question. I found it.
There we go.
Yeah, no. Yeah, just swap Zaha out. Keep the other.
In reference to when I didn't unmute you for the intro earlier, Marco Dinker says, "You're a special, Kurt, in a good way." Winky face. Thanks, Marco. Thank you.
You are. Oh, somebody's bought me a glass of wine. That's very kind of them. Sorry. I'm not condoning drinking, guys. I'm not condoning drinking. But...
I will. Get smashed. That's really bad image. Don't shut me down, YouTube. But Rifat Ahmad says, "Your in-depth analysis..." I hate reading out comments about me because I don't want to seem big-headed, but I've started, so I'll finish. Your in-depth analysis really helped me last week and got close to 90 points. Well, good for you. I am happy that I helped you. The only bad news is that I, for one, don't follow my own comments, so I could have got 90 points as well, but I thought, let's go over a bit of a risk this game week. That will never be happening again.
Isn't that funny, though, isn't it? Doesn't it feel a bit like all the information we give to other people, we just never really listen to ourselves?
I don't know why I do it as well. I can't
I do it as well. I mean, all of the videos and everything I did, I'm looking back at them now and I'm thinking, if I listened to all of that, I'd actually have done really well in the first game week.
It does annoy me because I know for a fact I have like last year. Well, I didn't do it for at the end part of the season. I had some game weeks where I'd look at my picks and I'd think, if anyone's just like subscribed to my channel, think, oh right, he's got a lot of subscribers. We'll look at his videos. We'll bring some of the players in that he said. Some people would honestly want to hunt me down because some of the tips I gave, but quite a lot of the time it's relatively good, and I think, oh, I wish I'd have followed that. Oh wait, hold on a minute, I could have because I actually did the research and made the flipping thing, but. CR7 to TB11 says Ramsey for Zaha. Tom Flux in response says Ramsey won't start, and I think that's just a big. I think it's just a big comment spree. How my defenders are Holding, Walker, and Alderweireld, and De Gea as goalkeeper. Is that good? Yeah, I'd say so. Holding for short term could be good. Although saying that, Gabriel could be on his way out, I believe, from Arsenal, so he could be now the 3rd centre back. That's weird. That scared me. JNO has just given a £5 super chat.
Oh, last of the big spenders.
And said sub to Kurt. No. How do I do this now? Don't.
What's the matter with you? Why you've got all flustered, man? This is hilarious.
I'll give you a question while I try and figure out something. Muad Chali says, "Is Carl Walker-Peters a good investment?" There you go.
Oh, that's a tough one. I think he looked amazing on the weekend. Young blood, but I think there's possibly too much rotation there just yet to consider actually getting him in as a first team player in your FPL. So unless you're okay with having him being on your bench or being a sub, that sort of thing, I probably wouldn't consider him for your starting 11. My personal thoughts.
I feel like at the moment he is. Anyway, I've done it. There we go. That's what you all should be doing.
Ooh, nice.
Sub to J&O.
Smexy graphics.
Yeah, great quality as well, as you can tell. The But yeah, for short term could be good. I think Trippier's missing this game week, so if you're looking for a quick option there, but I'd say leave enough money to make sure that you can go up to Trippier or to another defender, because the last thing you want is a person that's not starting at all. But let's have a look. Will Iwobi be back for game week 2? I don't think he will. I think, if anything, you look at maybe, I think Ozil will definitely start, and you've got Walcott that could play. You've got Welbeck that could play there. You could even see someone like Giroud go up top and Lacazette just push next to Giroud in the other one. So yeah, I would say watch out for that. Oh yeah, by the way, thank you to JNO. But do go subscribe to him as well. But yeah, thank you for the donation. My first super chat. I'm well chuffed.
Oh, thanks, Jay.
Yeah. I just realised I can put him on a timeout. I don't think I'm going to, because that would be really harsh. Donates £5, puts him on timeout.
Go sit in the corner.
But next question, Ryan Fraser, a bargain midfielder? Question mark. Your thoughts? And I'll pass you that one, because I don't really know much about Ryan Fraser.
I really wanted to get him in at the beginning of the season, and people were telling me that he's just probably going to get rotated with Stanislas, I think it was. And I'm not sure whether that's actually true or not, but I think he has lots of potential. Now, I have Kingy in my team. Oh. Yes, I do. I know. And this is his last game week to prove himself before I do like a massive overhaul. But yeah, I think if they can get it together, Bournemouth, he would be a cheap way into that team if he's going to play every week. And hopefully they will kind of sort themselves out, because I really think that team has massive potential. They've got a brilliant, like they have a great potential in defence. We've seen that last season. They have great wingers coming forward to pass the ball in. Then you've got people like Fraser, who's fast and attacking. And then you have, if fit, Defoe and Kingy up front, and a Phobie in the wings. There's no reason why that team shouldn't be doing well. So maybe hold for a little while longer and see how he plays out, because I think if he plays out well, then he could definitely be like one that could surprise you a bit, like Kingy was last season. That's my thought.
Yeah, well, put it this way,
don't like it.
I don't like Josh King. I think last season he was brilliant because he was a midfielder playing in attack. Now he's an attacker potentially playing below a striker or in the wide areas, which is effectively where people like Juan Mata will play, Mkhitaryan will play. They cost around the same price. I think for 7.5 you could get a potential winger for quite a, it could be, quite a weak Bournemouth side that won't do much, maybe a couple of game weeks here or there. Then you've got Mkhitaryan, who at the moment, and like I say, I like official FPL. I said it from game week 1. It's looking really good from pre-season and up. Could do bits, but I've been very vocal on Josh King. I'm pretty sure it's Josh King. My mate brought in, and I told him, I tried to tell him not to, but didn't listen.
Why didn't you tell me not to? Is that because you know you're facing me in the head-to-head this game week?
I didn't know you had
why?
Josh King.
I sent you my team. You didn't rate it.
Well, this is awkward now.
Yeah, you're all good, dude. You're all good. He's gonna stick a hat trick away this game week. It's all good.
He probably will. That's usually what happens when I say, you know what? Don't bring that person. They're like, someone just dissed me on the internet. Let's get a hat trick in.
Somebody send this video to Kingy so he knows what to do.
Starts responding to it. All of a sudden, because of YouTube, the way state it is, drops a diss track on me. Josh King, diss track for Kurt. You're like, oh, for fuck's sake, why? Flip sake, damn it.
When he scores, he needs to lift his shirt and have at Nymphoria TV on
it. Start a wager war. But we're gonna go go on to Patrick Chaplin now, who says, will Kevin De Bruyne produce some more points? He has to. I did a...
I hope so.
I don't know whether you or anyone here watches my FPLT videos, but I cover lots of stuff. It's a little bit of self-promotion. For example, we had JNO on it this week covering Kurt Yo's 1 to 11. We have more people on that soon. We have the preview, the review, the captains, the differentials, my team, looking at the league, sponsored of course by Classic Football Shirts, where I got this and many other shirts as well. Hopefully every single stream I'll have one of these shirts on. I've got 5 at the moment. One of them I don't want to wear because it's quite cool and vintage. And my Chef Wednesday one, that might come out as well soon. But one of the things I introduced this week, a new segment, is called Don't Panic, where I've decided I'll look at things where people are thinking, what are we going to do after, for example, I was going to do Kane, but that's so over talked about. I did Jesus and De Bruyne, where you look at the fact that they had 14 shots against Brighton, both of them have 4 each. You know, Jesus hit the post, both of them looked really good. On another day, both of them could have got 20 plus points. But it just wasn't Man City's day for scoring goals. So I'd say, Kevin De Bruyne, you've got to just keep calm, don't panic. For me, I'm still going to ride out. I just realised I've still got sub to J&O on. Oops.
Yeah, you really do, right across the face.
There we go.
I'll
get rid of my new head tattoo for now. But he will come good at some point.
Yeah, I agree.
Hopefully soon. I think City's fixtures, what were they again? Everton, Bournemouth, Liverpool, Watford, Palace in the next 5, with Chelsea, Stoke, Burnley, West Brom and Arsenal after that. Good looking fixtures. I think that all of them you could see City doing well in. So I'd say stick him out for now. He could do well. Where have we got? I really skipped down, didn't I?
Yeah.
Where have we got? The rubbish you're talking about, Gabby. Answer us. Yeah, sorry about that. I do waffle. Here's a good one. Ngen back Nalsi 1983 says live webcam chatting with sexy girls. Girlforyou.ga. Definitely don't click on that. Oh no, I could remove that, couldn't I?
Yeah, you probably should, because that's not where I'm from. Don't go there looking for me.
Ian Rose says up the blades, and I feel like he's definitely going on a timeout now because that is forbidden. It's probably gonna ban. It's probably gonna get my YouTube blacklisted. Those sort of swear words. Oh. All joking aside, Rick Palthenoff is back with will Burnley keep a clean sheet at home this week versus West Brom. I'm thinking of benching Tom Ince and playing Ben Mee. Well, I have started a little challenge with a few people on Twitter where we start from game week 2, which effectively gives you a free wildcard to change things in game week 1, and I am starting with a West Brom defender and a Burnley defender because I just cannot see past that being 0-0. I genuinely can't. Where Sam Vokes had attacked Chelsea in the aerial department, you're looking at the fact Sam Vokes probably looks about 2'2" next to some of the West Brom players. I feel like that could be 0-0, and I feel like although yes he's 4.5 Tom Ince this game week though, I feel like you're looking at Huddersfield, good home game against Newcastle, Championship level team, haven't improved much, weak in the defence. If there's someone else in your team, potentially like maybe a Tom Carroll or a Loftus-Cheek, I say maybe bench them, but Ben Mee I feel like would have to play. I have West Brom defender. If I had a Burnley defender, I'm tempted to get rid of Dunk and bring in a Burnley defender, but yeah, it was definitely worth putting him in. Refat Ahmad says Everton don't have a Ilnort?
Lorente?
Lorente, mate?
Is it Lorente? But more possession based, and Sigson got his joy because of him and set piece. Yeah, I think so. Lorente. Baines is still the man. I have doubts over him for lack of pace and mobility. #flop.
It's a fair comment. I feel like they don't have it, but Rooney scored a header, and it's other sort of areas where you're looking at the attack of Everton. I feel like there's willing runners there. You're looking at everyone offers something different. In fact, I'm going to go on to Everton's FPL and sort of go Everton's FPL team and go on what I'm talking about. You're looking at the strikers they've got. You're looking at Rooney and Sandro Ramirez. Rooney's definitely one that is good technically. Sandro Ramirez offers you something different, pace, ability to go up wide. You've got Calvert-Lewin, willing runners like that. You've got Miralas, who is great, a bit of physical as well. You're looking at people like David Klaassen, who's really good on the ball. As well as that, you've got Lennon with pace. You've got Sigurdsson to bring into the team and you stick him in the middle of them, you've got so many other things. Say Everton, if they could sign a striker and sign a target man, looks really good. But even then, although he links up with Juventus really well, Swansea, don't be put off by that. I feel like Sigurdsson is definitely a good choice, even without Llorente. Kane will score this game week, says Dean Late. Some 73, 41, some 41. Some 73 though says Kane will flop. He's a late bloomer. Burnley and West Brom might be boring, goalless. I do agree. Ian Rose said I think Salah looks terrible. He got lucky with his goal, and I think people will regret bringing him in. He didn't look. I mean, granted,
I'm not sure about that. I thought he looked pretty good personally.
I think he made decent runs. Obviously, you're looking at, I think Mane obviously is a much more adapted to the league. I feel like the one thing that I pointed out in pre-season when I said I wasn't backing Salah as much is that you looked at his form when he played for Chelsea for that short period of time. He didn't look too good. But I feel like whenever you come into a new league, if you're an attacker or an midfielder, a goal is a great confidence booster. And the fact he got an assist and getting a penalty and a goal, that'll be like, you know what, excellent, and it will give him the confidence. I think that's one thing on his favour, but we'll have to see, because I think that Watford is a tough place to start for FPL wise, because I feel like they're going to be so leaky at the back this season. Marco Silva is good at home. That was a 3-3 draw. You did think they were going to be like away. Watford had one of the worst defences in the league last season, and I feel that's something we need to keep our eyes on. Where's the next question? Ian Rose again. I've swapped De Bruyne for Sterling. I have a feeling he'll play with wingers against Everton. I'm standing by my man De Bruyne. I feel like he is definitely one to keep hold of at 10 million. Firetog says play Danilo in a defence or Richie in the midfield. And I feel like I haven't really used your knowledge much in the last couple of minutes, so I'll pass this one over to you.
I think Danilo might get transferred out soon. Mendy, is it? I think is back in training. So I think that possibly he might lose his place. Although he was as attacking looking as Kolasinac. He definitely is one of those defenders that likes to, get up there. He's got pace. He was making runs into the box. He looked really threatening. So I think it is really just going to depend on what Pep does with rotation on that one. Because he might just use him for some games where he feels like he needs that extra pace, and then obviously play Mendy when he feels like he wants to go kind of a bit more solid and not have that, and maybe stick Sané in front of him instead. So I went off track tonight. Play Danilo in defence or Richie in midfield. So City have Tottenham this game week, is that right? I think so.
No, City Everton.
Everton, oh yeah, okay. So City against Everton or Newcastle against, who are they against? Sorry, just a quick check. Huddersfield. I'm sticking with Richie, so I think maybe give him another week and see how it goes. Plus, I think, as I said, Danilo is subject to rotation, so that would be my tip, I guess.
Yeah, I thought from game week 1, Danilo would have been good, but City. One thing to note is that City had I still can't get my head around it. A pre-season friendly midweek this week, which I couldn't get my head around because the season started. I don't get it, but I had a pre-season friendly, and Danilo and John Stones both started the game despite starting at the weekend. So maybe that suggests they could go to 4 at the back, which suggests maybe wingers, and maybe that means Danilo and Stones are out. So you're looking at Mendy coming in at the left back with Walker right back, Company or Mendy at the centre. Reading into that, that's what maybe could happen, but it could also be that they didn't have the players to fill out. So Danilo and Stones were the most fit, got most chances of getting fit for the weekend. Plus, Man City played on Wednesday, I believe, and their game is Monday night, so there's 5 games there to recover. So I could just be reading into it too much, but that also could be what happens. Let's try and let's try and get through these questions. Can you justify paying 1.5 more for Phillips or Richie instead of Tom Carroll? I personally don't. Well, the difference is that Carroll's centre midfielder, he could play more attacking now, but he's a central midfielder, whereas, Phillips and Richie are going to play more attacking wise. Richie's going to be one of the most influential players for Newcastle this season. Phillips is playing alongside as wingers, not right midfielder, but a right winger. Much more attacking version. So I'd say that's probably what you're getting, because the wingers obviously cost more. But I personally would look at having Tom Carroll and then someone else like that. That's why I've got Tom Carroll, and I've also got Kachunga and Tadic. Kachunga, basically, it was because I like Elias Kachunga, nothing else but that. But yeah, that's where I'd say justifying it.
Do you like him?
I liked him from the Championship. I feel like he linked up really well with Tommy Smith, and that's why I was gutted that Tommy Smith, the Huddersfield right back, was 5 million instead of 4.5, because I'd have had both of them in my team, but alas, Kachunga didn't do anything in the 3-0 win. And
I don't
Tommy
know why,
Smith,
but his name just makes me want to go Kachunga.
What else have we got? We've got Giannis Simenis, who says Mane plus Salah plus Mickey or another combo. Is it too risky to have two players from Liverpool? And I think this one I'm going to pass over to you.
Mane plus Salah plus Mickey or another combo is too risky to players from Liverpool. I don't think it's necessarily too risky to have two players from the same team. With Liverpool, if you've got two from the same team, then hopefully one of them will end up playing.
At least you know one of them's playing.
But at that price, I think I'd probably have Ali there instead, or Ericsson, probably, rather than one of those two, just to kind of edge my bets and get somebody else in.
That's fair enough.
But I have seen teams out there that have got Salah and Firmino, Mane and Firmino, and obviously last game week it paid off. So I can't see why, if Mane and Salah both get the game time, why that combination shouldn't pay off. Just the only thing you kind of get with that sort of thing is obviously if that team loses that week, you've possibly missed out on a lot of points. But then you can flip it around, say if they do really well, like they did last game week, flip it around and you've got yourself a lot of points. So I think it's personal preference on how many you have in your team. Usually when I start out at the beginning of the season, though, I try and kind of spread it out a little bit and not have too many from the same team, especially not too many expensive players from the same team anyway. I don't know if you'd agree, Kurt.
Yeah, I generally like to spread things out, especially at the start of the season, because you never know what a team's going to produce. Even if last season they could be brilliant, you could have had, you know what, Chelsea, home to Burnley, let's have Courtois in there, let's have David Luiz, let's have Marcus Alonso. Before you know it, 40 minutes into the game, something like that happens, and all of a sudden, David Luiz is getting 0, Marcus Alonso's getting 0, Thibaut Courtois is getting 1. And that could really bite you in the butt. That's why I generally... sort of the only doubling up I've done in my entire defence midfielder attack at the start was Myhill and Foster, because one of them doesn't play, the other one's going to play, and also De Bruyne, Jesus, Tadic and Gabbiadini, just for the simple reason that, midfield and attack wise, I feel like they looked good, but obviously all four of them did nothing. Ericsson and Davis, however, a lot better of a choice. FPL today, aka Mr. J&O, says, not around for ages. Unfortunately, I'm drinking in a pub with friends talking about how bad Chelsea were yesterday. Yesterday being Thursday, I didn't think they played.
No, neither did I.
Maybe he's had too much to drink anyway. Computer's on to charge my phone. Some 73 says, shout out to my Mooney owners. Master KPM, we'll do a rate my team. We'll do it. I've avoided them for now, but we'll do a rate my team. We've got De Gea, Cedric, Dawson, Bertrand, Ericsson, Ali, Atsu, De Bruyne, Firmino, Lukaku, and Chicharito. I'll pass one over to you. What do you think about that?
Well, I've got quite a few of those players, so it looks good. I've got Richie, but I think in my change, I might be looking to swap him for Atsu. Atsu looked so good on the weekend, I think. So he's a possible little sneaky swap for Richie if he does well again this week. Don't have. I don't know about Chicharito. He's a brilliant player, but he looked so lost in that game. He looked so lost. He was having to work so hard to get the ball. It kind of reminds me of Sanchez. They're quite similar players, I think. They really like to kind of boss the play, be in charge.
Yeah.
You know, really kind of, give the ball to me and I'll create the chances. So, and he just didn't get any of that really on the weekend. He was like way back in midfield where he really probably shouldn't be, to be honest. So, but I really like it as a first team. See, that's the thing. A lot of these teams, the way people have set up initially, there's nothing wrong with how they look. They should do well. But FPL, like everything, is just a bit of a game of luck. So there's nothing there that would make me knee-jerk. I know that much. He does, as we were chatting about doubling up on two midfielders from the same team, he does have Eriksen and Ali in his team, I've noticed.
Yeah.
So I don't see anything wrong with that, but it does give him potential, obviously, to swap to another player of the same price in a different team.
Yeah, I feel the positive of that, though, is that if you look at Eriksen and Ali's form from recent Chelsea games, they've been, Ali's been, one of the most influential players. I think I've done it. I've said it so much, and that's why this game week, a little bit exclusive, we're all going to my team at the end of the stream, as we always do, but this game week, I'm captaining Christian Eriksen against Chelsea, because in the last 4 games, including the FA Cup game, that is, in the last 4 games, 5 assists and 1 goal against Chelsea. Now, that is against a lot of full strength Chelsea sides. You're looking at the fact Gary Cahill's out. They've lost Matic. You're looking at the fact that Fabregas is out. You're looking at Hazard and Pedro both being out. Bakayoko potentially not match fit enough to start. You look at the fact that they haven't got Costa or Battering Ram playing, so Batshuayi might have to play. Conte has said that Morata still isn't ready. I personally can't help but think, they've got no leader at the back. They've potentially only got one first-team midfielder in Kante. The only one they've got that I believe plays there is Kyle Scott. Don't know who he is, but he's on the game 4.5. So I feel like Chelsea are looking really weak, and Spurs are basically, excluding Kyle Walker-Peters, I've got a full strength side. Trippier could be back. I doubt it. Lamela and Kudu are out, but they wouldn't start anyway. And Son had a potential, even if he's not match fit enough, to come off the bench and really impact the game. So Eriksen and Ali could be really good choices for Spurs, and that's why I'm going with Eriksen as captain. We are going to go on to a comment from Kimberly.
Ooh,
who says,
did I get a bit of an insight into what you're going to do this week?
I
quickly change my head to head. Quickly. Eriksen in and captain.
We have got a comment from Kimberly who says, webcam will blow your mind away for free. Go for you.tk. Again, probably best not to click that, everyone. So I'll remove that for now.
Where are you seeing these? It's funny how you zoom in on these comments.
I'd just gone down to the bottom by accident, and it was there. It was there.
It was just there. Oh yeah. Oh dear.
I forgot where I was. I can't even remember.
That's shaky now, isn't it?
Rate my team. Oh, there we go. That's where we was. FPL today, nice kit. Thank you. It's actually a really cool kit. In fact, one thing I will do is I'll show off the rest of the kits at the end of the stream, which I've got, to give you a little insight. Some of them, no, I won't actually. No, screw it. You all can wait. They're secret.
Oh, what? Oh,
I changed my mind so much. I'm like, yeah, well, there we go, dear. No, naughty Kurt. Stop it. But anyway.
That's Kurt going, that's another video.
Trying to keep on track here, which is so hard with my brain. Giannis Simenes says a defender for 5 to 6 weeks below 5.5. Southampton coverage, Bertrand, Cedric, Stevens, Ishida, looking really good. West Brom coverage, maybe. Look at Man United coverage, I believe. I can't remember who it is. Phil Jones is at a good price. Danny Blind at the moment is playing with Shaw and Rojo out. Could be some good choices in there. But fixture-wise, I feel like you've got to have Southampton coverage. Man United, I feel like could be a must. Even maybe looking at someone like Huddersfield or Brighton, because their fixtures look quite good. Because Brighton coming up, we've covered Huddersfield, Brighton. Next 5 games are Leicester, Watford, West Brom, Bournemouth, and Newcastle. So still potential to do well there.
I think I've got Dawson in, and he got me clean sheet last game week, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely worth considering. We have got a lot of comments from, I'm assuming, a drunken JNO, Cedric Giannis. Oh, he's trying to say Cedric. He's a monster. Jones at 5.0, beautiful monster, but I don't mind. He's lost it. Peters.
He's just so drunk.
Peters last season was really good. This season, I feel like I think it's mentioned quite a lot. How much further can Mark Hughes take Stoke? Plus, I feel like he's getting to that reach that maybe Van Gaal got to. Potentially Wenger got to until he changed his system. He's maybe becoming a bit of a dinosaur when it comes to modern tactics. And that's where I feel like Peters this season is. I'd quite like Eric Peters. I had him in my team most of the time last season. But yeah.
He's a bit of a rock, isn't he, I guess? He's one of those ones that goes a bit under the radar and just gets on with what he's doing.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like, because I think last season was 4.5 for a fullback. He got, didn't get many attacking returns, but got a decent amount of clean sheets for 4.5, so did a decent job.
Bonus points as well, I think.
Exactly. Some 73 says Danilo chances have covered that, and potentially could be out of the team this coming game week, so not worth the risk. FPL Today says, a nice comment about me, which I don't like reading. But
I'll read it. It says, by the way, if he hasn't said, Kurt's been killing it today with the content. Oh, that's so nice. Brotherly love.
Tear rolling down my cheek.
Oh.
In happiness. But Giannis is back again with Peters. A really risky choice, but I like it. I think that Southampton defence is going to collapse. I would say so, but 3 out of 5 games in the pre-season were clean sheets. First game week was a clean sheet. The attack is looking like it's going to self-destruct, and it had done in the first game week, didn't do much. The defence, I think, looks solid, and I think that's why I would go with that.
I think if you're going to go with a Southampton player, you should probably look more towards the back of that team rather than towards the front of it.
Yeah, definitely not Gabbiadini. I've stopped with Gabbiadini.
He's so going to score a hat-trick. I really hope he doesn't see a 0 up against me.
Giannis, God, flipping heck. Giannis again. Brady, Mui, or Brunt? I will pass that on to you.
Brady, Mui, or Brunt, where are you at? You've skipped down again. Okay, I'm there. Okay. I think Brunt is pretty proven from last season. So, that West Brom? I'm right in saying West Brom, am I? Defence is pretty good. I certainly wouldn't be jumping for Hagetzi this game week, which I know a lot of people have been doing. So I think probably stay away from that one because he is going to be prone to rotation. Watch him score another goal now. Brunt, 8 points last game week, grabbed himself an assist. Mui is looking promising. I grabbed him in for a lot of my draft teams this game week, so I'm hoping he will do well. And I don't know a whole lot about Brady. So on that, I would probably stick with the proven Brunt, if I'm honest.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
But I do see the potential in Mui. I was really impressed by them on the weekend. I really was. And I'm excited to see how he'll do. I really hope it's not going to be a flash in the pan.
I think that's what we're all hoping for. I've quite a dark screen, so I might change that in a bit. Oh!
Yeah, what happened
there? We go. We have a
moved.
subscriber. Piatras84 has just subscribed.
Hey.
Thank you for the support. It is much appreciated. Good old new for you, giving you a thumbs up there. Sorry, what were you saying?
I was just saying you should probably pop over to my channel.
Yeah, do go and subscribe. That's what I was meant to do earlier. Put your link in the description. I always forget.
No, so kind. Yeah, we were talking about Mooey Brunt.
Yeah, I've been very... Again, I've usually tried to keep very open-minded in terms of different players. Mooey's one that I shut down pretty immediately because I felt like there is a potential he will sit alongside a holding midfielder and play quite deep, with the chance of Kachunga one side into the other, and then I think is it Casey Palmer in the central role for Huddersfield? Is that the one they signed? Yeah, Casey Palmer. Also got the fact that you could have maybe even Van La Parra playing out wide, Kachunga in the centre. So I sort of knew Mooey was going to play further back, so I didn't go for him. But if he's on set plays, he's got an assist already, clean sheet as well. Could be one to go through, or could be on going forwards. What have we got? We've got Ollie and Vic, who says Captain Salah or Lukaku this weekend. And I'll leave that one in your hands. I will leave that one in your hands. Nope. Well, I'll leave that one in my hands. Personally, Lukaku. I feel like, even though, yes, it could be a boring game, Swansea, I feel like he's definitely going to be having the potential to score. Salah, on the other hand, could be rotated. There's always the potential of Liverpool sort of self-combusting on themselves. So Lukaku, for me, is a safer choice. Who is he accompanied by? That's what I was meant to be doing. Miss FPL Nymphria is who I'm accompanied by. If you look at the description now, I will put Nim's channel.
Okay, I'm with the question. Captain Salah or Lukaku this weekend? I would captain Lukaku.
Where did you go?
I don't know. Where did I go? There needs a bit of mystery about me, Kurt. You can't know everything.
You just went silent for a good 2 or 3 minutes. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh wow.
But yeah, well, we got the answer there in the end. Just on the question, who is he accompanied by, which I finally put your channel link in the description. At least I hope it's there. I'll put it in there on my screen, but is there now. Giannis again with Mane and Zanka or Willian and David Luiz. Interesting one. Personally, I'm going to go Willian David Luiz. I feel like even though Chelsea had a poor first start, people could be reading into it too much. Yes, Gary Cahill's going to be a big miss because you're looking at the back line, there's not a leader there. One thing that could hurt them. Thibaut Courtois has been at this club for a few years now, but he isn't a leader. David Luiz, yes, he's been at the club for a few years, but you don't see him as a leader. Rudiger's only new to the club. Moses, don't see him as a leader. Same with Marcos Alonso. There aren't many people that could be a good sort of organiser of players there. David Luiz will have to take that role now that Cahill is injured. The only one I could say is Azpilicueta, because I think he's really underrated, and he could do a good job at it personally. But reading into it too much, bearing in mind that first game week, thinking, oh, Chelsea aren't going to win the league, they're going to do this. They've still got time to sign players if they need to. They had 2 players off the pitch. Granted, they conceded all 3 of their goals around 10 men. But even so, to get your captain sent off is going to be a risk for any team. And, I feel like Chelsea really didn't help there. And yes, the goals really could have been avoided. They weren't goals where you think, oh, that's because they've got a player down. But look at the fact that maybe that extra player would have been charging that, the crosses down for Vokes not to be able to get there. So that is one thing to consider. But Willian will be good. David Luiz, I think Chelsea will be good. You've got to look at their fixtures. They've got Tottenham coming up next, but then Everton, Leicester, Arsenal, Stoke, Man City, Palace, Watford, Bournemouth. They're all games in which, David Luiz could maybe get some attacking returns in. Maybe a few clean sheets here and there, but like Zanka, you don't know how good Huddersfield are. Is one game, could it be a blip? Could it not be? And also with Mane, could he be rotated? Who knows?
Yeah, completely agree with everything you just said.
Yes, on point.
Stick with the champions for now. For one more game week.
Yeah, or if they get another two
Just
players
do
sent
them
off
all
this
out.
game week, I'm done. I am done.
We're all using our wild card.
What have we got? We've got Gross versus Leicester from Patrick Chaplin. Gross versus Leicester, or Fraser versus West Brom. Fearing a 0-0 in the West Brom Burnley game. I can't see past a Fraser versus West Brom.
Are they against West Brom?
I feel like he's the Bournemouth player.
Yeah, Fraser's Bournemouth, isn't he?
Unless there's a Fraser for...
Yeah, because Bournemouth are playing Watford this week.
I will hop over that comment.
Is there another Fraser? Shall I have a look?
No, I've just checked. I'm going to hop over that comment.
Okay.
Because I think it was a mistake. There we go. We got one from Rick Powell Thendup, who says, "Will Bertrand and Stevens get me a clean sheet or goal/assist points versus West Ham, or should I drop one and play an extra midfielder, either Ince or Tom Carroll?" Bertrand is more likely to than Stevens. Stevens, again, is not going to be attacking down the wings. He's going to get there from maybe corners. So that's the only way he get there. Bertrand, 2 goals and 5 assists last season in about 22 to 27 games, I believe it was. Minutes played as well, all considering. But I feel like you're looking at clean sheet, definitely. I feel like against West Ham. Attacking points could also be there. So it could be worth it. Ince, he's playing against a weaker Newcastle side, so it could be worth bringing him in for maybe Stevens, I'd say. Out of the two, Bertrand and Stevens, Stevens has got to be one to drop. Also, Tom Carroll, worth leaving on the bench for now. Playing against Man United, so I don't think he will do much. I've skipped down to the bottom. Oh, well, we're going to do one from right at the bottom. Larry Fisher, Atsu or Doucouré? I'll pass that one over to you whilst I find the chat again.
I don't know much about Doucouré, if I'm honest, but I thought I explained earlier that Atsu looked quite good, so as I don't know much about Doucouré. Oh, is he the Watford fella? He's the Watford fella, isn't he? Yeah. Oh yeah, he looked pretty promising as well. Match of the day, other footballing replay programs are out there. So, yeah, it's really, I think it's always quite difficult with these lower teams. I don't know if you agree with me, Kurt, especially like somebody like a team like Watford, that when you've watched them season after season not doing so brilliantly, it's really hard when they have a really great game in the first game of the season to then just say, well, they're going to be brilliant now for the rest of the season, so get them all in. But we're all hoping that they do well, obviously, because we're hoping they do well because it means that that'll be cheap players for us to buy into our FPL team. So, and yeah, so I think, though, just looking at the games last weekend, probably at the moment I would say Atsu, but I have heard the argument for not getting any Newcastle players in this game week. So
it is an interesting one indeed. Here's one that I like getting different people's opinions on. Rifat Ahmad says, "When do you think is the perfect time to use the wild card? Because I've used my one this week. Now I'm nervous as fuck." That was definitely a risky decision. If you put it this way, and it's something that's been mentioned a lot on Twitter. If your team has done that bad that you're considering a wild card for game week 2, start another team and see how that does, because you get a free wild card and you get to keep your wild card as well. So if you get like less than the average, go and start a new team, keep the team going, and if your first team that you kept from game week 1 picks up, keep with that one. But if your game week 2 team starts flying past the first one, keep with that one. I think it's a simple thing, but yeah, I'd definitely be nervous. I feel like you've made a bit of a hasty decision, personally.
Yeah, I wouldn't be looking to use it this early. In fact, this time last season, I had 2 teams. I had a personal team and a YouTube team. I started 6 weeks in my YouTube team, but in my personal team, I messed up completely from the start. I'm not known for good starts. I got a video out there this week that just explains that I'm just terrible at FPL starts. I almost feel like now if I do well at the start of an FPL season, it's just going to end terribly for me because I'm just not used to starting well. But I think I would almost go as far as saying I'd rather take the hits at the beginning of the season to get in the players I want than use a wild card. That's controversial for you right there. But
yeah,
I feel like the wild card is better used kind of later on in the half. You know, I'm thinking when we're leading up to Christmas, that sort of time. I know the kind of peak time, or at least I'm starting to find out on Twitter that, you know, is it 4 to 7 seems to be like the window, the wildcard window. I've never used it then. It's always seemed far too early for me. But I think using it, yeah, I'd be quite nervous if I'd already played it. But then if I'm willing to take hits to change my team and then use my wildcard later on, then I guess would it be any different swapping those two things around? I don't know.
Yeah, I think one thing that interests me is I'm looking for the lead after game week 5. That is when I'm potentially looking, because that is when Everton's tough fixtures are over, and that means you can flood into Everton players, because after they've got rid of Man City, Chelsea, Spurs, and Man United the next 4, Bournemouth and Burnley are at home after that, and Everton have got the potential, the way their team is looking, to rip those sort of teams to shreds by at least 3 or 4 goals. The only awkward thing is that they've got so many good attacking players. Who do you actually bring in? But it's different things like that, I feel like, that people are interested in if teams have really hard starts and easy fixtures. I generally use it when my team looks like it's lacking, when I feel like I've got maybe a few injuries, a few players that are out of the team, a few players that are out of form. That's when I use it. I don't generally follow trends.
Yeah, same. It's like when you look at your team and you really think, you know what, this is nothing a 4 or an 8, a -4 or a -8 is going to solve here. So I've got this many injuries, or I really, really want that player in because his price is going to go up, or that player's price is going to drop significantly now because, you know, this happened. I think that's when you should use it, whenever it feels like there is no other option, you know, because I'm stuck. So if who was it that used the wild card? But it just, I'm not sure, but I think if it felt right for him to use it now, then, you know, then maybe he did the best thing for him.
Yeah. No, I'd echo those thoughts. I'd echo those thoughts. I am going to try, fingers crossed, to go through a load of comments and just read them out no matter what they are, unless it's just massive conversation between people. Then I'll do it. Starting off with, where do we go? We've just gone past Kimberly's removed message. Sum 73, wildcard will be perfect around game week 4 to 5 when window closes. That's another thing, when window closes, you know, players are there. Another good thing. Master KPM, will Trippier and Davis play when they're back? Well, Davis, I think he meant Trippier and Rose. But I feel like Trippier, he's going to be the first team right back unless they sign another right back. But for now, looks a really good price, really good choice as well. Davis is currently playing. I'm not sure about the Rose situation. There's rumours that he could be leaving. If he does, Davis and Trippier, I think, definitely will be doubling up a lot of teams, because 5.5 fullbacks for Spurs. I feel like we're in dreamland there. Akib Hussein, sorry if I butchered that, says, "Hi mate, great content you make. Jesus captain over Lukaku, screwed me last week. So who should I captain this week between De Bruyne, Jesus, Lukaku or Mane?" I personally am going with, out of those 4, Lukaku. Swansea could be tough, but again, it could be a team that he just walks straight through to. And I was also, I think I swore as well when you wrote that, but oh well, screwed. Oh well, I was also screwed by captaining. I captained De Bruyne instead, so that didn't really do me well. Who to bring in to replace Zaha? Wijnaldum, you're looking at Willian, you're looking at Loftus-Cheek. We've covered that quite a lot. Any other replacements for Zaha? We've just answered that. Ramsey or Willian over Ramsey for me. Lot of conversations. Thoughts on Holebas? Takes corners, 5 assists last year. Not great fixtures though, and Watford are very, very leaky at the back. It's worth noting that they haven't got a good defence. They haven't improved the defence, and I feel like they need a player. They need to sign someone like Ryan Shawcross, who at the bench is not going to be much going forward. Maybe not good for only a couple of years, but he knows he's going to organise the defence. He's going to make it a lot more sturdy in the defence. That's definitely something that they do need. So Holebas for me, I'd avoid. Do you think Van Aanholt was a good option? I said it from the start. £5.5 million for a Palace defender is an absolute joke. I feel like the 3-0 and no attacking returns for Van Aanholt has proved that. Brunt's got a banging left foot. I would definitely know that. Sheffield Wednesday fan. He used to play for Sheffield Wednesday. He actually played in the playoff final back at the Millennium Stadium when we beat Cardiff. Cardiff, we beat Hartlepool 4-2. Is Alonso the best Zaha replacement in the long term? 5 shots against Burnley, even though Chelsea are poor. Alonso, that's one thing that people forget, is that Alonso at 7 million is effectively a wide player. So we've got to look at that and think, Alonso, if you go, let's say, to a Ruben Loftus-Cheek, gives you money to maybe upgrade a defender to Alonso, and then you get an attacking Crystal Palace midfielder and attacking Chelsea midfielder rather than just a Palace midfielder. So definitely worth looking into for that. But yeah, definitely looks really will score goals again this season. Your take on Hegazi? Leave him for now. Long term, he's not very good, so I'd keep an eye on that. Should I keep Gabbiadini? I am for the least one game week. Because the fixtures have got potential to smash a few goals in. Atsu or Doucouré, covered that. I think Atsu is definitely better than Doucouré, wide player. I think he's better starting ratio, so I feel like he's a better choice to have. Who should I replace with Gabbiadini? Only option, really, realistically, is Mooney. Another one with good fixtures, scored 2 goals against Palace. Think definitely worth it. Or Bryson 5.5, Shaqiri 6 million. Who's the best form midfielder? Shaqiri for Stoke. I feel like definitely avoiding Stoke because I do look wary. Or Bryson at 5.5 could be a really good choice for that Leicester coverage. I think Knockout is going to be decent this year. Didn't start against City, was on the bench. But I feel like that's because he wanted to go for more of a structured defensive unit, because obviously he's a bit like Mahrez, Ozil, for example. Not going to track back as much, so I feel like that's why they've gone with that. A lot of people saying Doucouré over Atsu. I can't see that. Where's the next question? Captain Kane or Firmino? For me, Firmino. I definitely, I think Firmino is definitely over Kane, because Kane against Chelsea. Just saying, I feel like, although I don't really want it to be, I feel like the August curse could be here for another season, personally. Jeff Holt says, hi Kurt and Nim. Jeff Holt also says, how long should I keep my Triple Saints defence for? Again, also said hi. How should I keep my Triple Saints defence for? They got a clean sheet last week. No point getting rid of it now. If they start to get rid of the clean sheets, obviously it depends who you've got. If you've got 3, if you've got 2 centre backs and a wide player, no. As long as you've got Cedric and Bertrand, I'd say at least keep them 2. Maybe Stevens or Forster or Yoshida definitely going out of your team. And one last question. Before I need to take a drink. If Wednesday were an FPL, would you have 3 of their players in your team? I wouldn't have 3. I couldn't help myself. Also, big up knowing that I support Sheffield Wednesday. I would have to have 1. Looking at the team at the moment, the way it is, I'm not sure. Price-wise, I don't think we'd have too many expensive players. Personally, looking at it, maybe you're looking at Gary Hooper, Stephen Fletcher up top. They're definitely ones that can get you a few points. But out wide, I think Ross Wallace would be good at the current team at the moment. We've got
sorry,
Alman
who
Abdi.
are these people?
Sheffield, how dare you? How dare you? who do you support?
Nobody, just a little club called Arsenal.
Glory Hunter. Anyway, but yeah, there's.
I'm only messing. Big up the Wednesday. I set him off.
Oh, I haven't coughed for much this stream, but yeah, we haven't got much wide attacking players, which is where I usually go for most promoted teams. But maybe Bannon, Abdi, someone like that. I wouldn't have 3 because I'd be jeopardising the entire team. But yeah,
because you just cursed them, obviously.
Oh, definitely. We've started so poorly. 2 points in the first 3 games, and I said we'd get second. So great to start with that one. I'll leave you a question, or I'll give you a question so I can have a drink. We've caught up. We were like 30 minutes behind. We're now 9 minutes behind, so that is good.
I think you ploughed through them like professionally.
Yeah, I need to have that at least one point in the stream. When I reach like an hour's gone, I'll just get through everything. Sum73 says, who's the one player worth keeping the whole season? So I say, what's your pick for a player that you're probably going to keep the entire season?
Ooh, I'm going to say, based on last week's form, Lukaku.
Yep.
Yep, and I think, should I do one for every position? Should I just go crazy? I'll just do that. Okay, gives you more chance to have a drink then as well, because I'm being nice like that. I'm going to say then, Lukaku, striker. Eriksen, midfielder, even though I don't have him myself. I'm going to say, who am I going to say for a defender? I'm going to say Bertrand in defence. And then I'm going to say, De Gea, goalkeeper. So, oh my gosh, I went for 2 Man United. Oh my god, what's the matter with me?
An Arsenal fan has disgusted herself.
I really have. I've been doing a lot of big enough Man United this week, which is like worrying me. I said the title will go to one of the Manchester clubs, so you know it's starting well on one of those Manchester sides anyway.
I said the title would go back to Chelsea, so that started well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Got it right last season.
Long way to go, yeah. Long way to go.
Yeah, I had a good laugh. Whenever I get down, I like to look at the comments of my Premier League predictions for last season and realise how wrong people were and how close to being spot on right I was. But if I'm going to go through mine, I think striker's got to be Lukaku. He's owned by 53% of the FPL players. It is insane. I think, can we get his exact amount? I don't think we can.
Let me go hunting while you carry on chatting, if you want.
Yeah, but only his own percentage. But Lukaku, unless an injury, and if he does get an injury, the amount of people going to transfer him out is going to be insane. It's going to be so fun to watch if he does happen. I don't wish that upon anyone, but yeah, midfielders, I'm going to stick the same as Nim as well. I think Eriksen's a fantastic choice. Only owned by 17.6% of people at the moment, so definitely worth considering. Instead of Ali, who's owned 37.5%, but he's going to be on set plays. He's going to be assisting. Last season, Eriksen got 8 goals and 20 assists, 16 clean sheets, 218 points. Insane amount. In the defence, it's a very, very tough one. I'd say personally, this season, I'm going to go with another Spurs player and say Kieran Trippier if Spurs don't sign another right back, because he got 5 assists in what was 12 games last season, a lot of them being substitute appearances. He could be a really, really good choice. And the fact that there's loads of people transferring him out because of his injury, I think at the moment, I can't even find him on the only percentage.
48.5%, I believe. I think I found somewhere.
What, Kieran Trippier?
Oh, sorry, for Lukaku. I'm going back to Lukaku.
I was going to say, I thought, flipping heck, that's a lot. He's owned by 2.6% of people, Kieran Trippier. So if you do bring him in, if he starts the first team, fit the whole season, could be really good. And in the defence,
Did you have Davis?
I did have Davis. Yeah, he saved my game week.
You're so lucky. I had him in weeks before and then took him out. I'm so annoyed with myself.
I had Trippier in, and I thought I was going to go for another club, but I thought, why? At least for this game week, Davis is a good choice. He's going to play, should get a clean sheet, and got a goal. So I was really happy with that. But as for goalkeepers, I feel like if he's going to be the first team goalkeeper for the entire season, Rob Elliott could be a good choice at 4 million. Because you don't have 4 million like Myhill not playing. The only reason I got Myhill is because if Foster gets injured, I know Myhill's going to play, and I trust West Brom. But also then Ben Foster as well, going to make a lot of saves, look more sturdy than last season. So hopefully that can be that. Let's move on to another question. Jay Cartwright says, "What is a wild card? Is it when you get a whole new team? Basically, if you play your wild card." And once you've done it, I believe you can't undo it. I'm not too sure about that. I know you can't undo the free hit, so be careful about that. The wild card, basically, if you see 5 or 6 new transfers you want to make, but of course you only make 1 every week without getting minus points, use your wild card, make as many transfers as you want during the week. one thing to consider with wildcard as well is that it doesn't matter when you make them, you can still make them throughout all the game week. So, if a lot of players, let's just say if a lot of players have banged it, there's a chance, and this is something that I've been tempted to do, let's just say if you use it on a game week where people have, like, let's say like Mooney scores a lot, looking at, people going up in ownership percentage quite a lot by 0.2, maybe get a lot of them in, then you get an extra 0.1 for each one of them, so by the time you transfer them in, they're at, let's say, all three of them are at 8.0, when you transfer them out on Friday, they're at 8.2. You get an extra 0.3 million to spend elsewhere.
Don't give away our secrets.
That's got to help me subscribers. But it's worth considering. No. Bear LFC, I've seen you in a few streams, says Steve. It's a weird duo. Stevens or Chicharito?
Chicharito.
So the Southampton centre back or the West Ham striker?
Yeah.
Maybe he's got both of them in his team and he wants, with this game week, they're playing each other.
Which one to play? Okay.
On the ball, cut on the ball. Stevens. Personally, I see you had another clean sheet coming for Saints. For you?
Yep, Stevens.
Yeah. So yeah, that's definitely. I've reset my chat again. Whoops. I know where we were in chat though. So
73 overall. Lukaku should have more points than Ericsson, but good pick. Stevens or Chicharito. Wow, that's. Okay, he's stuck. He's saying Stevens or Chicharito. I think we've answered that one. I remember him blanking out for several game weeks. I'm not sure who that's in. So, do you guys think we're still on Stevens or Chicharito? Stevens or Chicharito? He really wanted an answer on Stevens or Chicharito. Bear, we said Stevens. Okay. Davies and I'm not sure I ever get this player's name right. Lechellis?
I think it's Jamal Lascelles.
Lascelles.
I think. But then
this is why I give them all nicknames so that I don't get it wrong.
I love giving players nicknames because especially on Football Manager, when you're going through it, if people listening to what you're doing, they must be listening thinking, what on earth is he doing? Or plays it through and the fridge is through on goal, thinking, how's a fridge through on goal? I don't get it. But we know what we're talking about.
Yeah. Well, I need to have a game of Football Manager because I've not yet played it. I've played FIFA, and that's cool, but I've not done the whole Football Manager yet. So
definitely worth it. I'm sure J&O could say that as well if you speak to him. But yeah, you said the question. I feel like you deserve to answer it first. Davis or Lascelles?
Davies, I think for me. You were just saying about Trippier, and the Spurs defence. I can't really disagree with any of that, so that would be my one out of those two.
Rifat Ahmad says, pray for me. I don't quite know why. Martin M says, Hegazi or Lowton. Neither, because Lowton could be transferred or could be rotated for Phil Bardsley. Hegazi, obviously, I don't think is a long-term choice, although if Johnny Evans does join Man City, could be a longer-term choice than we all thought.
Don't say that when loads of people have just banked in on him.
Ian Lalla says Tadic or Redmond. I'm sure you're going to say Redmond, aren't you?
Yes. Sorry.
Yeah,
I'd I know Tadic is your
Tadic.
Man,
I can't not say Tadic.
I'd have neither personally, but if I had to go with one, it'd be Redmond.
Current attacking form for Saints, so would I. But yeah, that's where I stand on that. Saints forwards always had my doubts, so do I. Captain choice, Lukaku's definitely a good choice. Coming up, do you think Stevens will keep a clean sheet against? Oh my goodness me. We are behind in the chat because when people ask the same questions because we're behind on the chat.
I think I know where we are. Firmino often scores when Liverpool drops points versus lower clubs, apparently.
I think he got 2 goals in the 3-2 defeat against Swansea last season, so bit of evidence there for him.
Oh, Martin got 103 points last game week. Well done, Martin M.
Well, I'll tell you what is quite cool. When I did the look at in FPL, I did look at my league. The top person in my league is number 1 in the entirety of the USA.
No way! Awesome.
I'm well chuffed with that because I've got the best of the best from the United States. So big up to that guy.
Big up to that guy.
14 in Man United. He's at 154th overall. So I'm getting there. I'm attracting the best. I'm helping the best, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Should I keep KDB? Personally, yes. What do you think, Kurt?
Definitely, yes. He's a player that will never really get dropped unless he's got a fitness concern, and he's the most creative player they've got, so he's definitely worth keeping.
Do you think it is more hard for hardcore football fans to pick their team because they have to focus on opposing players to get points and also pray for them to lose? Oh, rip it, yeah. I don't know what you think there, Kurt, but it is harder if you're although I'm not really sure if you can, well, of course you can be a football fan and play FPL, but I suppose you've got to have some interest. But as somebody whose mum plays the FPL and doesn't pay as much attention to the football matches as I do, and got more points than me last week in a game week, I think I would probably agree with you, because you do get torn in by that kind of head and heart thing. Definitely.
Yeah. I'd agree with that personally. Especially as I think it's also worse for hardcore football fans, because quite often you have your slight favourites and teams that you dislike more, so you look at that as well. Hence the reason I don't have any Palace players, because I can't stand Palace. So there's a deep lying hatred there. Why
don't you like Palace? You've got to tell us now.
Well, I can't remember what I said in the last stream, but I was saying we've caught up quite well on the chat, so I'll allow myself to waffle for a few minutes. Basically, Palace in general, my first experience, well, in football, my first real experience of a big game was 2005, when I was, at that point, 9 or 10, probably 9 or 8 even, 9 or 8 I think it was 9. Sheffield Wednesday got to the playoff final for League One, and at that point Wembley wasn't ready, it has been renovated, so the playoff finals moved to Millennium Stadium in Wales, and I live just out in Essex, just outside London. So, and my dad asked if we wanted to go. Obviously I wanted to go, so we got tickets, travelled all the way across to Cardiff, and it's really interesting, especially if we go to a game, because especially because where I live, when I'm a Sheffield Wednesday fan, where I live, I don't really see. I think in all time I lived here, I've spoken to one Sheffield Wednesday fan that lives here, excluding my dad, and that in itself is pretty insane. I was around Asda one day, but that's a separate story. This is where I get in trouble, because I waffle and I just get distracted. But the journey there,
and talk about the supermarkets that are available.
I definitely endorse Asda, but because where I'm at, that when I get there, I usually get the trains either to London games or to elsewhere. Because a lot of Sheffield Wednesday fans will travel down by themselves. Where I go, every train stop, it will sort of be like, it will start with me and my dad, or just me. And the closer we get, the more train stops, the more Sheffield Wednesday fans you see. And that whole journey, you have different people doing different routes, because obviously up north you have people move. You could move to, Wolves, or maybe move across to Liverpool or Manchester, and still be a decent driving, hour, 2 hours across to Sheffield. To get to the games, you have people coming from all directions, going to Cardiff. There was more and more people getting there. Got there, fantastic game. Obviously I was quite young. I was, taken back by the atmosphere. 4-2 winners in extra time. For example, I'll tell you this: 3 players that played in the Premier League have played in that team. I think we had on loan Alex Bruce as a centre back. We had Chris Brunt playing at wide left, and one of the person who scored the third goal, the winning goal in the end, was Glenn Whelan, who is now at Aston Villa. I'm gutted we didn't sign again. I really like Glenn Whelan. Then we went up. I think a few years later, we were left in a scenario where obviously we were in relegation battle. It was last game of the season, and it was Sheffield Wednesday at home to Crystal Palace. And it was basically, whoever wins stays up, loser goes down. The only problem is that if it was a draw, Palace stayed up. So we had 33% chance of winning. And it is the most nerve-wracking I've ever been to, and the most awkward drive back from Sheffield I've ever had. Because obviously, driving all up Sheffield, like 4 or 5 hour drive to get there, to see your team get relegated from the Championship, then drive all the way back. It's just, well, what about the weather? But that game, it was very, very back and forwards from what I remember. I don't remember the ins and outs, but Palace went ahead. Then I think Sheffield Wednesday equalised, and I think Leon Clark equalised right at the end of the first half. In his celebration, kicked one of the advertising boards and broke his foot. So it's the sort of luck we had on the day. It's an idiot thing to do. But during it, also in goal for that game, we had Lee Grant. Just want to point that out, currently at Stoke. But at that point, there was a moment in the game where a ball had played in, Lee Grant had gone for it, but I can't remember what Palace player it was, but easily, and you could see it, it was the other side of the stadium from us. He had gone up, and there's pictures of it, and somehow he'd managed to studs up, kick Lee Grant in the face, and you can tell it's bad when the whole of Sheffield Wednesday fans go up, but there's no complaints from Palace fans. They're sort of sitting there thinking, oh no, this is not good, we're going to go down as 10 men, this is gonna be our downfall. The referee didn't even blow for a foul at all. He did when Lee Grant didn't get up, but I'm pretty sure he didn't blow for a foul, didn't get a yellow card. It should have been a straight red. I'm going to try and find it whilst I'm talking, but yeah, that's where my hatred of Crystal Palace comes. Also, I just feel like they're a really, really awful club, and at the end of the day, they kept their 11 men on the field. They ended up getting a 2-2 draw. We went down, they stayed up. I think that's the game where there was a bit of a pitch invasion, and they stormed the pitch and started, of course, middle finger salutes to the Sheffield Wednesday fans, 2 fingers up to Sheffield Wednesday fans, the wanker signs of Sheffield Wednesday fans, and it all got a bit ugly. And from that point, I realised that Palace are not a club I'm going to get on with, and especially look at, I just personally don't like them. I feel like I'm going to get myself in trouble. If there's any Palace fans in the chat, I don't dislike the fans, I dislike the club, but that's where it is. I feel like something like that stems deep hatred. And,
okay, no, I feel like I need to be like your counsellor right now and just be like, it's okay,
so
Kurt.
Tell me about it.
You can let it go now, Kurt. You've been holding on to this deep-rooted resentment for too long. Just for too long. You need to let it go. And my best friend is a Palace fan, so
But yeah,
and one of the guys I do a podcast with is a Palace fan, so I know quite a few Palace fans. But you know what? It's all about the Lerva right now.
I do like Lerva, but no, if we'd have got to that game, we'd have lost 3-0.
It is hard when you've had those kind of personal experiences. It does kind of taint your view on.
Yeah.
I was once caught up in the middle of a Cardiff Swansea match, which was, fun as a young girl, as you can imagine.
Yeah, I can imagine that being fun. But to give you a bit of a, how would I do this? Do this one?
What are you doing?
This one, I'm trying to see if I can.
Oh, look at that! Smoky graphics again.
Yeah, so I've got it all done. I'm gonna just do another. I'm gonna actually just change the comments. I'm done with the comments for today. I'm going to bear with me. Okay. Do it as that one. Should be now. Yeah. Look at that. Explain to me, someone please, how that's not a foul.
Oh. I was like, I can't see anything. Okay.
That's the kick, and that's the best picture I could find. That's contact was made, not one thing was said, and that really irritates me. I'll say, if we'd have lost fair and square, they'd be the better team on the day. But it's because that happened, and that could have swung the game in our favour. It didn't. It annoys me. So, yeah. No, I don't like Palace. But that is for my counselling video. And we've also probably gone back behind on chat, so I'm going to quickly run through a few of the questions. I think I'll probably, look at the time, I'm going to finish off in a second, but I will try and run through a few of the questions quickly. If I find out where we were. This is about where we were.
But you've just got carried away with that whole Calvin.
Yeah, I know. You told me to say it, and 8 minutes later, I feel like everyone's regretting it. But Rick Palthenop says, Jesse, ex-Real Madrid player, 6 million. Looks a good bargain buy. Would he be on the watch list after the Arsenal game? No, for me, because I've said I don't like Stoke players at the moment. and I feel like it's worth seeing how he does before, after the Arsenal game, because he could do nothing in the Arsenal game. It could be because it's Arsenal are a much better team than them, so I'd watch out for that. We'll transfer Ake by game week 3. I'd said Ake is too expensive considering he's going to play centre back. You also have 5 million, exactly the same price for Charlie Daniels going forward. 4.5 gets you a right back, Francis, so worth looking at that. Do you think Van Aanholt will be good after this game week? No, I don't want to go on to Crystal Palace anymore, please. When do you guys first get into FPL? Hoping to stay top of your league this week, Nim. 104 points. Sorry, Martin, from Jeff Hull. I'll let you start as he is leader of your league. When did you get into FPL?
6 years ago, I believe. Yeah, a long time ago now. And I have to admit, I knew nothing about overall rank or all of this community that exists here. I led a sheltered life. And I played mostly mini leagues, and I had a great record in those mini leagues because I used to start badly, then I'd catch up, get ahead, and then I'd play my mini leagues to my other players' teams in my leagues, rather than kind of looking at stats and all of those sorts of things. I would play what the other teams were playing, so I was playing strategic FPL rather than thinking about getting the most points in a game week. It was about basically getting more points than my opponent that game week. So, which I think is slightly different. I've really noticed that when I came into kind of Twitter and doing the YouTube last season, there's so much more emphasis on overall rank, in the kind of wider social media community than I'd ever even kind of considered before. So my style has had to change a little bit based on that, because now I have to consider, obviously, that it's not just about my mini league ranks, it's about, how I rank overall. But yeah, that's how long I've been playing. But for overall rank and, considering, consistencies and stuff like that, probably, the last 2 years more so.
Yeah, that's fair enough. As far as content creation, then, where I had my own question in. When did you start?
6 weeks into last season. And the 6 weeks, okay, 6 weeks was because, basically, I was a bit of a chicken, and I was considering before the start of the season, and I kind of talked myself out of it. And then I thought, you know what? There aren't any women that I know of doing FPL at the moment on YouTube, and I love football, I love FPL, and I'm not going to blow my own trumpet, but I hope I know, a fair amount about it, or have enough interest to learn, what I don't know about it. So I just suddenly, had a really kind of few drinks one evening and just thought, again, not endorsing alcohol, I just got brave and I thought, you know what, tomorrow I'm going to do a YouTube video, and that was kind of it. And that's why it was 6 weeks in rather than, any other time, which was a bit random, I know, but if I didn't do it then, I'm not sure I'd be here today.
That's fair enough. As far as me, I think this is the last question we'll do, because it is getting late for me. I have got a few other things I need to do.
Do you have to get off to bed?
Well, I'm up early because I'm going to Sheffield Wednesday Fulham tomorrow, so I want to make sure I've got enough sleep. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. Fulham play fast football, and I think they've continued that from last season, and we seem to be slower. So that is something I'm worried about. But as far as me, probably around the same time I've been doing FPL, new account because I've forgotten my password and my old email address. I think it was an MSN email address, and I couldn't remember the password to that, so I started a new account to give you a perspective on how far I've come with it, how far I've taken football seriously. If I find out where on earth it is, my first season on this account, 13-14, so this is my 4th season, I was rank 2,600,000 that's quite bad. And my best ranking is just under 100,000, or just over 100,000, with the 15-16, which I'd improved by a million again, because my 14-15 was just under 1.5 million, so I'd improved a lot. Last season I really was pushing on for at least, I think, top 50, at least top 100, but if not top 50k. But with reasons I've spoke about before, and I don't particularly want to go into, I stopped YouTube. I stopped looking at my FPL. I barely looked at it from game week 30 onwards, so I lost a lot of points there. With captain staying the same, and things not going my way with players. This season hopefully be better, but at the moment I'm I'm ranked 1,400,000, so good start as always. But as far as YouTube content, I think this is me 3rd season, which is something I'm quite impressed about. And the only reason I started is simply because I was trying to get better after my first season. I thought, you know what, there's no good content on there, so that's when I started really looking into things, because all I could find was FPL tips, and that was it all the time. At least I'm going to again try and call out people by accident. All I could find of good content, and my content when I started off was crap. Now, look at the content where I just literally sit on the website and say, here's a good player, here's a good player. My thumbnails would be Sheffield Wednesday players instead of Premier League players, which makes no sense when you think about it. I beginning to make my own content, and now I make my own graphics. I've got a sponsor for the channel. I feel like I've come so far from the little channel that I started with, and loads of people that really want to listen to me content for some reason, which I still don't get. But yeah, that's basically where I stand. We are going to look finally at, that's subs J&O, my FPL team, which I haven't got up on the screen.
Oh yeah, show me so I can change my team.
So my points last week, I'm not sure. You know what, I'm just going to get rid of the overlay, and there we go. My team last week, 64 points. It wasn't the best. My captaincy pick screwed me with Lukaku being captain. It could have been a lot more. Also, I listened to other people and put Cedric on my bench because so many people certainly wasn't starting, and I put him on my bench, and he started and got 6 points. That's another 6 points I could have had. I could have been on 70 points plus the extra, third, or extra, I think extra 10 I would have got from Lukaku. I got 3 points from De Bruyne, so I would have been about 80 points instead. Mistakes were made. So that's where I stand on that. Making no transfers this week at the moment. But the team I've got at the moment, I could have. Well, I say I could have Foster up my hill. It's going to be Foster anyway. With hopefully getting a clean sheet in another clean sheet 2 weeks in a row. Hopefully, help his price go up a bit. So when I transfer him out, inevitably he will do me wonders. Back three of Cedric, Azpilicueta, and Davis at the moment. I am tempted to bring in Francis for Azpilicueta, but I'm keeping him in just because I feel like he could be good this game week. Davis,
you're risking Chelsea in defence.
I don't really have any others. I think Dunk away at Leicester. I think Vardy's going to rip him a new one, and Francis, as nice as that sentence is, Francis, I feel like Watford still look good in the attack. So Azpilicueta, I feel like £6.5 million defender doesn't really shouldn't be on my bench, but he could also, bearing in mind he also last season got 5 assists from centre back, could be good going forward. Cedric, home against West Ham, should be another clean sheet. Davis, we're playing either left back, or if they go 3 at the back, left wing back, so he could be good for that. Midfield 4, De Bruyne, captain Eriksen, which is a risk. Tadic and Kachunga, all 5 midfielders this game week have got a home game. De Bruyne against Everton could be a high scorer. If anyone's going to pick apart the Everton defence, it could be the maestro for himself. Eriksen, like I say, 1 goal and 5 assists in his last 4 games against Chelsea. 2 assists last game week, could be good. Tadic, my main man, still in there. He is one of the ones teetering on the edge, but you've got to look at the fixtures. I feel like that's why he's in my team, and it will be in there for maybe a couple more game weeks. And Kachunga, because I've got a sort of a soft spot for him.
Kachunga.
For goodness sake.
I'm sorry, it's just so infectious. You can't not do it. You're all going to be doing it all over the weekend. You know it.
I hope not. It's going to be stuck in my head now. But good fixtures, and also come up against the weaker Newcastle defence could be good. Tom Cowell's on my bench because Man United, and I can't see him doing much. And the front three, Jesus, Gabbiadini and Lukaku. Lukaku is my vice-captain, just in case Eriksen is struck down by food poisoning, as we know Spurs like food poisoning. Jesus, because I feel like he's a favourite, and even out wide, did well last season, and with 4 shots hitting the post last game week, it's only a matter of time before he continues where he left off last season. And Gabbiadini, again, the fixtures, but he is definitely on his last warning after the first game week and doing nothing. And also, you could say, oh, maybe he had a good game week. You got to look at how well people did. Judge him on the bonus point system. -1 for the the amount of time he was on the pitch, 68 minutes. That spells a poor game for him. So if he doesn't start, he's out immediately. No matter what, if he comes on off the bench and scores, he's out of the team to the start. Because that means that Pellegrino could be rotating with Dunk, Myhill, Carroll, and Francis on the bench. That is pretty much my FPL team, and that is where I think we're going to end it. If I didn't get to your comment and you desperately want your comment answered, either put it on the Dilemma Centre announcement video earlier, put your comment on there, and I'll endeavour to answer it. I'll be hopefully responding to comments all before the deadline tomorrow. And also, if you want to think, you could wait for this video to go live and leave it in the comments. The actual comments, the chat doesn't stay there, so that all those are wiped. But put it on the actual comments on this video, and I will look into doing that for you guys there. But that's basically that. Thank you for watching. Thank you to Nim for coming on the stream for me. It has been a pleasure. Almost
no worries.
One of the longest ones. Last week with Joe we did 2 hours. This week we've done, just excluding the intro, just done 2 hours. So
it must be because I'm, all those kind of sexist stereotypes of a woman being chatty and all that.
But yeah,
no, but I've really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for having me.
Have to get you on again sometime. So I need to go through everyone else. So I'm targeting Zane and Brett next. And I feel like I've forgotten someone. Have I? I don't think I have.
No,
I haven't forgotten anyone of the group chat. So those two hopefully will be up soon. Maybe even one of my own. Next, we need to
sort that draft thing out soon too.
We do. We really
maybe
we really
around
do.
Christmas sometime. Or something.
Maybe start on the international break.
Yeah, that could work.
Could be a good time to start. But anyways, thank you all for watching. Though, hopefully, you've enjoyed. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and also in that description there is a channel link. Go click on it. Sub to FPL in free. It's definitely going to be worth your while. Graphics wise, really good. Gonna say up there with Brett Speed this season. Thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. And I'm not ready to click on the end button, so I'm going to do it right about now. Peace.